Today, we're checking out the incredible new features of Luma AI's newest Dreammachine model, a powerful, fun, and wildly imaginative tool for visual storytelling and design that can unleash your creativity to completely new heights. Let's go! So when you first log into the site, you'll notice this is your boards page. Boards are basically your current projects. So you can return to any project that you were previously working on, start where you left off, or you could just start a new one. If this is your first time logging in, this page will probably be blank. But I'm going to hit this button right here and create a new board. You could put in your prompt as usual right here. But one of the interesting features of the new Dreammachine is you can just start with a vague idea and let it help you kind of craft a story. So I'm just going to put in something very vague. I'm going to say, give me ideas for a dragon. And this is the loading screen. So it will begin generating images based on what your prompt is. So here it's coming up with some kind of suggestions as to where you might want to take this just as a first step. So I'm going to go with this oceanic dragon. That sounds cool. And it'll generate an initial prompt for me, and I'll just press the generate button. So this is my new board now. It's got my prompt up here in the top left, and it's just loading right now. This is the loading screen. So the first thing that finishes is you'll notice that some of these words in the prompt got circled and the image is just completed. What these words are additional suggestions that it might have for you to change up your prompt and get something more specific. So if I click on any of these pill words, you could see it has suggestions for me to generate other types of things that work with the prompt. Maybe instead of a mermaid-like tail, I want it to be a serpent-like tail. And it'll start generating a new set with the serpent tail. The other thing to point out is there's this brainstorm button right here. And this might be another cool way to kind of gather your ideas and start some kind of initial project. So while that's generating my it just finished actually. It generated my serpent tail. Let's say I'm still like, okay, these are nice, but I want to brainstorm some more ideas. I can click this brainstorm button right here. Over on this right side of the panel, we'll notice some additional ideas that we might have for our project. So it came up with some specific styles of describing the ocean, maybe adding some fantasy to it or a stylized art to it. Other kinds of art styles. This is more of like a minimalist style. This is more of an Art Nouveau. And also a suggestion for, maybe it's inspired by fantasy, aquatic elements, or vibrant colors. Of these, I kind of like this inspired by fantasy and aquatic elements. So I'll press that and it'll generate this new prompt for me down here. I will hit the prompt generate button to see what it comes up with. And you'll notice that instead of going horizontal this time, my images are loading downwards. So if a prompt is similar, in the same train of thought, it will move left or right, and you can scroll between all of your boards. But if you generate something with a new prompt, it will go downwards. So that's kind of how it organizes your trains of thought. So when I look at these, I think this one is really cool right here. This is like kind of like a seaweed type dragon. This is like the most eye-catching to me out of all of my options so far. I'm going to actually hit this button that says more like this. So it'll generate kind of using the influence of this image right here. So I'll hit more like this. At the same time, I also kind of liked how it gave me so many options. So I'm also going to hit this show more button. So it'll generate even more images based on this prompt. So you could see we have two loading screens now. One is from this specific image right here. And that just finished here. So it's kind of like this seaweed style dragon based on just showing more of this style. And this one right here that's still loading is just based on the prompt to show me more options. This is just giving me options from where I might want to take my project. So I kind of like how this one right here is kind of like that seaweed look that I'm liking. And it's got some more color than the original. So let's go with this one. So now my idea is I want to create maybe some images that I would want to make a video out of this. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to come down to this option right here that I like and hit this modify button. And down here in the prompt box, I can kind of describe, based on the influence of this image, how would I want to change it. And I think I just want a much younger version of this dragon. So I'm asking it to generate a younger version of this dragon. At the same time, I'm actually going to go back up to this image that I just started generating this new younger version for. And I'm actually also going to hit modify and ask for an older version. So I'm going to ask it to make it more powerful and fearsome. While I was typing that prompt, actually my original younger dragon version finished. So I do like how it's a little bit younger, but I want it even more younger. So I'm actually gonna, I actually like this option. It kind of looks like a slightly younger version, but I want it to be like much younger. Like I want it to be visually distinctive. So I'm actually going to go back to my original prompt and hit modify again. And I'm going to say, instead of a younger version, I'm going to say a baby version. So now it's generating another set of images based on this baby version of the prompt. I'll scroll back up, and this is kind of the older version of the dragon that I got. It's looking less like a sea dragon and more like a sky dragon. So I actually am going to what am I going to do? I'm going to go back up to my source. So this is kind of my image that I'm basing everything on, and I'm going to modify it again just to emphasize that I want it to be a sea dragon. So I redid the baby prompt up here and I redid the older prompt down here. So these are looking more like a baby dragon to me. So this one looks kind of like exactly what, my source image was, but way younger. So I like that. This one will work for me. And let's see what we have in the bigger one. So it gave me more underwater stuff that are pretty fearsome and have all this energy. You know what? Let's go with it. I kind of like this one, even though the other ones are below water and this one is above water. Let's see what we get. So what I want to do is create a video now between the three versions of dragons that I like, right? So I'm going to start with this baby dragon, and this one kind of looks like how I was expecting. I'll hit this button that says make video, and you'll see down here that it becomes the first keyframe of my prompt. And then I'm going to go back up to my original image that I kind of liked, and I'm going to just drag it into the end frame here, which is a nice feature that the new Dreammachine has. Any of these images I can just drag around into my workflow. And I'm just going to describe how I see this. And if I start typing camera, you see the camera options up here as a scroll down menu. I can use my up and down keys to choose which option I want. I'm going to choose the pull out, and I'm going to hit this prompt execute button to see what we get. At the same time, I also want to use the middle stage, which is my main start image right here. I'm going to create a video with this and use this as the first frame now. And I want to use my final dragon. I want to see how this comes out, even though it comes above the water. Let me drag this into the end prompt, and I'll even prompt that it comes out of the water. I don't know how it will handle that. I'll type in this prompt and I'll hit the execute button. Now you may see where I'm trying to go with this project. I'm trying to create a bunch of stages of my video where I can kind of put them together and they all just work well together, all the same style, all in the same theme, and of basically the same subject. So here's my baby dragon growing into a regular dragon version. This is version 1. So it kind of just change the shape. The shapes match so much that it kind of is just morphing into it instead of looking like it's growing. Let's see what I got from this one. Okay, this one's a little bit better. Like, I kind of like this one right here. This might serve the purposes. At least it's moving a little bit instead of just staying in the same spot. So I kind of like how this is. I want to hit this button right here, more like this, to give me some more options just to see what else I can get. I'm also at the same time going to hit this show more. So the difference between the two is more like this will be based on the image that I selected for more like this, which is this image. And show more, it uses the same keyframed prompts to generate new ideas for you. So those are going in parallel right here, but my other video should be done. So you could kind of see multiple trains of thought of mine coming together at the same time. And while one is going, we can work on the other one. And this is my older dragon version where it kind of rises out. This is actually a really cool transition. It just doesn't quite make sense that the surface of the ocean is appearing at the bottom. Let's see what we got from the second option. Okay, that's kind of cool. At least it's going in upward motion. I'm going to do the same thing as the younger dragon version. I'm going to hit more like this on this version because I think that's pretty cool. And I'm also going to hit show more just so I have some additional options. And probably by now the other version is done with the younger dragon. So let's scroll back up, and yes, the additional 4 versions are done. Let's see what we got over here. So I'll click on this. And I kind of lost my side to side motion that I liked. So this is not bad. It's just very, abstract, as if it's like growing in place, which maybe we like. And then this one is kind of the same thing. I don't love how the arm kind of merges into the body, so that's kind of like doing worse for me than some of the previous versions. Let's see what else we got from the show more. Okay, this is pretty cool. I like this one. It's kind of flowy, moving left to right and kind of growing. You kind of see that. And all right, the same thing with this one. I think this one emphasizes the seaweed a little bit more. So for me, I think we're going to go with this version or the first original version. Let me see this right now. Okay, I kind of like this one. So I'm going to hit download right here. And let's see my older dragon version, which is now done. All right. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of abstract just because, I did choose a keyframe that was underwater to start with, and then it comes over water in the output. But I actually like this overall movement and motion. It kind of looks really cool to me. So this is a good option. Let me see the other ones since they're done. Oh, actually, that one's pretty cool too. All right, both are really cool options. Let me see these other new ones just in case. All right, that was a little too weird of a transition for me down here. And this one, also a really cool version. Wow. Okay, so I got lots of great options here. I think I'll just choose one of them. This was the first one that kind of caught my eye, so I'll go with this. I actually want to extend it. So let's hit this extend button. And the only action I'm going to give it is a sea dragon roaring. Let's load this and see what we get. So now you might be able to see where I'm going with this. I want the baby dragon to grow into the medium dragon, and then the medium dragon to grow into that final, last, most powerful dragon. A couple of little features that are worth noting down right here is the aspect ratio settings. So if I didn't want this horizontal, like let's say I wanted to do a version for Instagram or, Reels or whatever, you could change your aspect ratios down here for images and video. So my older Dragon version completed, excuse me, my extended version completed. And let's see what it added. Okay, that's pretty cool. Oh, it added like a continued zoom in right there. All right. So, you know what? I like this version. It's pretty powerful looking and mean, which is what I was going for. Let me hit this download button, and I'm going to take my 2 video clips and put them together. So that was a way to create a story on the fly. I think it does work a little bit better if you do have something in mind. I was just kind of freestyling off the cuff. I do want to show some specific tools. The reference is actually really powerful. It's worth visiting and placing some emphasis on it. I'm going to use a well-known character just for emphasis sake, but you could do this with any character. I'm going to say, give me a portrait of Naruto. So let's say I have my character already established that I want to have. I can upload it here, or I could just have it generate a character for me. So it gave me these portraits of Naruto, right? And let's say, all right, this is perfect. I want to emphasize what you could do with this reference. So reference is really cool. So if I just click it, it says use character or style. I'm going to use character, but to use character, just type in however you want to see this character in context. So this screen just establishes what my character looks like. Then I want to use it as a reference to do whatever. So let's say I want to have him riding a motorcycle. I set this as a reference right here, and then I type in what I want to see my reference doing, or in what context you want him to be performing. So I wrote riding a motorcycle. I'm actually also going to do another one just to point it out. Let's say playing poker. So that finished my motorcycle. So we could see my motorcycle up here. You could, all of them kind of, this one was kind of the most off, but we could also see like, okay, this is kind of it. Like maybe all of these are a little bit not quite what I was looking for, but this one is pretty exact. This looks like Naruto, and it looks like him riding something. Like, I guess that's a bicycle. Well, he is riding a vehicle. It's too close up to kind of tell exactly what that vehicle is. The second one, I wanted him to be playing poker, and boom, there he is playing poker. That's kind of right on the money right there. If I create a new board here, I can also show you how to use reference to give an image a style instead of to reference the character. So I'll create a style here. Let's say let's just describe a city. So it'll generate some images for me. Let's say I want to switch the aspect ratio to horizontal this time. I'll use this as a reference, and I want to use this style, and I want to create a character in this style. So I'll say like, or I want to create another scene in this style, I should say. I do the @ type style, and I'll write I'll ask for a close-up of an exosuit mech armor. Hit enter, and let's see what it gives us based on this as a style reference. All right, great. So there we go. I use this as a style reference. It generates our new prompt in that style, and it matches pretty well. So here we go. We got my exosuit armor. Looks pretty much like it could belong in this world, whatever this reference world was. So these are my boards again. If I create a new board and I start with what I want to see. So let's say I just generated like a chipmunk in the forest. This is perfect. Let's say I want to modify it and I want it to be, I'm modifying my initial image with kind of this evil power prompt. All right, so this is pretty cool. I want it to be even more evil. All right, cool. So let's say this is my board. I actually really like this one right here. But let's see what happens if I'm gonna make video. This is my start. This one will be my start frame, and then I want this, like this evil one right here, to be my end frame. And all right, so this is my prompt, right? So I think one of the simplest uses of this tool is to kind of come up with your start frame and like your finishing frame and like prompt for it, and just generate ideas around that. I think that's a really great use for what this thing can do. All right, so here's our results. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, the transition on the first one is a little bit better. That's kind of what I was hoping for. It like scarily turns to horror. Perfect. I like this. Now let's say I'm collaborating with a team and I want to say, all right guys, this was my idea that I came up with, but I want you to take it and play with it and see if you like it or if you want to see something different, right? There's this share button right here, which is really cool because now I can share this board with you guys, and then, or I could share it with you or my team or whoever, and it'll give me this link, and I'll copy this link. And what it does is, if I go to, I'm gonna open an incognito tab so it doesn't have history, but if I put this link into the incognito tab, it will bring you to my board page. It'll say like, okay, these are, you know, my ideas, and then you could see them for yourself right here. Now, if you have an account, I think you can add on top of the board and then reshare your link with your changes. But you have all of my ideas and prompts right in this interface page that you could see all for yourself, even without an account. So you could kind of see what I was working on, what still images I came up with, what videos I came up with, and then you can comment on them or, you know, modify them yourself, which is a really great collaborative tool if you're working in groups. One thing to note, this does use up credits quite quickly. You could kind of see how easily it is to get carried away following multiple trains of thought, and that's just something to be aware of. So you may want to have a higher tier subscription for this. Other than that, this is a really fun, really powerful way to organize your ideas and think of new ways to put them together. I'm going to add some additional clips that I come up with here at the beginning of this video and here at the end, just to see like some use cases that you might be able to use this for. So definitely like and subscribe if you like this video to keep up with all the coolest tools for AI creatives. Someone also recently asked me about some of my other socials. So I'm going to be putting links to my Instagram and LinkedIn down in the description below. Please feel free to connect or follow me there as well. And that's it for today. I will see you in the next one.